good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special interview and art sale with comic artist Denys Cowan. Today, we'll be offering 19 artworks available for purchase with a great selection of both published and unpublished works. The published works will include pieces from Batman Gotham Knights, Dark Knights, Death Metal, Infinite Hour Extreme with Lobo, Batman and Robin, and Vampirella. There will also be a few pieces that are kind of commission-oriented pieces that were done specially for today's show. So before we get started with the show today, I wanted to welcome everybody. Like I said, it's an afternoon show, my second in a row. Don't get used to it. We don't do these afternoon shows too often, but it's a Saturday. It's a beautiful day here in Northeast Ohio. So it's a great day to talk with a really well-respected comic creator and also give you guys the opportunity to purchase some artwork. So before we get started with the interview, I'd like to go over some of the ground rules, and most of which you're already familiar with. So let me pull up the first slide here that talks about how we're going to be handling claims today when we get to the art sale portion of the show. So to purchase any of the artwork today that we show you, they will be in lots numbered 1 through 19. And you're going to email Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com with the subject Cowan Art Sale, and in the body, please put your lot number that you're claiming, as well as your name. And then when the show is over, Nicole will get back to you requesting more information so that she can properly get the invoices out to you. And again, we've done this most recently with the Howard Chaykin interview, and I know that worked really well. The majority of the artwork that we have for in the lots today, they are already in the possession of Third Eye Comics, so most of it will ship immediately, and a couple of the special commission pieces were just recently created, so those will be shipping separately in a different manner. But we will but as everybody who purchased artwork in the Chaykin show knows, it was a very smooth process and it went really well. So I was really happy with that, and I'm sure all of our claimants were as well. So during the show today, the art prices that will be shown with each lot does not include shipping and handling. So shipping domestically is an additional $20, and internationally will be an additional $50. And as I mentioned, Third Eye Comics is our fulfillment service, and they've done a great job. They've been a really good partner for us, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with them on this show and on future shows as well. So without further ado, I know that we've got a lot of you in the audience that can't wait to get the chance to ask some questions of Denys, as do I. So let me get Denys on to the stream with me. Hey, Denys, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hi, Bill. How you doing, man?
I am fantastic. I mean, I know it's morning there, so I appreciate you getting started early on your Saturday with us. So anytime you can break from a weekend and get to chat with some of your fans, I think that's a great thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Well, on weekends I usually work, so this is a break from actually working. So that's good.
Well, that's good. So, some of the stuff that I'm really curious how you've kind of kept yourself busy with the last couple of years. I mean, I know that you've got your hands in a lot of different things with your whole career spanning. I know your first works were around the early '80s, but you've really kept busy out inside comics and outside of comics. So, what has the last couple of years been like for you? I mean, it sounds like you're doing a lot of work on the weekends, but what about those weekdays?
Yeah, like the weekdays. Well, the last couple of years, like for everyone, has been like, preoccupied with COVID and dealing with all that. In terms of working, my situation didn't change because I always worked from home. Mm-hmm. And a lot of artists were isolated. We work from home and occasionally go out into the world and deliver work. And then not even that, now we push a button and send it in. So that part didn't change as much. The amount of stuff that I did change. I did everything from Batman stories, which we'll show today, to restarting, the Milestone lineup of books, Milestone Media, with my partner Reggie Hudlin and Derek Dingle. We restarted all that. So a lot of my 2 years have been occupied with really a lot of Milestone stuff, drawing hardware, designing characters, figuring out what the books were going to be, who's going to draw them, who's going to write them, working with Reggie on coordinating everything, working with DC. Mm-hmm. The relaunch, which has been very successful. It's been a lot of stuff. The movie, there's a lot. So,
right. So you haven't, the grass is not growing underneath your feet.
No, not at all.
Anyway,
in fact, I've been busier in a way. It's like the circumstances, my working circumstance didn't change, but the amount of work that I got to do certainly increased. It was a lot.
Well, that's good. I mean, we talked about that a little bit yesterday when we were doing the mic and sound check and
Yeah.
everything. But for a lot of us, since COVID came around, we have been busier, and
Yeah.
it's and in a way, it's been good, right? I mean, we needed something else to kind of occupy our time, and work was one place to do that. I mean, I've been the same way, so it seems like the similar experience for you.
It causes you to focus like no other. when you have no choice but like, okay, I have to stay here and figure this out. I can't, like, let me find alternate ways to do things. So yeah, no, in that way it's been good. You know, the misery and death it's caused has been very bad. So
Right, exactly. But that's working was one way to take our minds off of that.
Right.
So I'm see we're already getting questions from the audience, but I wanted, before we like jump into certain pieces that I wanted to talk about that were popular on CAF. I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot of interesting things coming up right now, and last weekend you had a really special thing going on with Milestone with that was kind of a mentoring artist program. Can you tell me a little bit about that, because I wasn't aware of it until we spoke yesterday.
Yeah, that's the Milestone Initiative. What the Milestone Initiative is a program where we're taking aspiring artists and writers and putting them through a comic book, how to draw comic books the Milestone way, the DC way, just how to draw comic books way and write comic books way. We're taking them through a 10-week course in conjunction with the Kubert School. So it's a real opportunity for people. We've chosen 25 candidates who will be participating. It's going to be intense. I think we have our first summit meeting in April, and then we're sending everyone off on a 10-week learning course. At the end of it, people will be getting assignments, they'll be getting work, and they'll be into the system. That's the whole purpose of this, and it's to give people who don't normally have an opportunity in comics, people of color, underprivileged people, disabled people, a chance to be seen and heard. That's what Milestone's always been about. So that's
now, is this the first initiative that you've done, or have there been ones in the past?
First Milestone initiative that we've done, and we're doing it in collaboration with Ally Bank.
Oh wow!
So yeah, Ally Bank is a big sponsor of this, and they've been working closely with us for the last year or so in bringing this to fruition. So they've been excellent partners. And it's a big deal.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, I've always thought about, and we've tried using this platform for doing things, good for the community at large. And it sounds like you're looking at, the opportunity and the position that you have through Milestone and your work in comics to do good things for others as well. I mean, I think that's wonderful.
You should always do that. Like, part of it is the work we do for ourselves, and part of it is the work that we do for others, and they have to be equal to me, so that's always been a big part of the Milestone agenda, though we never had an initiative before, and we never worked with a bank before to help us with that. It's important to us, and it's always been important to me. So
that's just amazing. I'm glad that you're doing it. And in the Kubert School, I'm sure it's fun to be able to partner with them a bit as well. And it's got to be fantastic for the people, for those 25 people selected.
They got great instructors at the Kubert School. Amy Chu is working with us as the writer, person in charge of writing. Tom Mandrake's one of the teachers there. We're just thrilled. It's gonna be great. And then Reggie and I are gonna mentor people and occasionally step in and probably mess up what the instructors say by giving some other no, don't do it like that, do it like this, and then just I'm sure that's going to happen. So maybe they'll keep me away from the students. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you want to be able to kind of impart the Milestone philosophy and the DC philosophy on them.
With us, but we'll see. We'll see.
Right. Well, I mean, so maybe we should talk a little bit about Milestone and why you chose to start that when you did, and how successful you feel where you were achieving the goals of what Milestone set out to do early on. I know that there were some challenges but there were so many successes as well that came out of working with Milestone. I mean, what are your thoughts on that period of career?
You're talking about the 90s. The 90s.
Yeah.
A lot of social change going on. There were changes going on in comics with Image, right? And more independent voices coming out of comics. But there was also a lot of social change. You know, this was the Rodney King time. This was,
Right.
you know, there was a lot of stuff going on. And comics to me were the one place that never addressed anything that was happening past a superficial level. And, you know, we were influenced by what was going on at the times. We were influenced by Public Enemy, by just the radical voices that were going on at the time. We wanted to do something to contribute to that in comics. So that's how that was how I first got the idea. Like, what can I do to add our voices to this cause? And it wasn't exclusionary, it was inclusive. But it was inclusive in the truest sense, where we wanted to work with everybody and not exclude anybody. So it was a Black-owned company, but it wasn't a Black-only company. You know, we did comics for everyone, and we really meant that. We were successful. We were very successful, and to the extent where I think we changed a lot of the ways that people perceive comics. You know, we certainly had several successful characters. You know, Static being our biggest one, and, you know, the Blood Syndicate and Icon and all these things that ended up becoming very popular, you know, culturally. So there was some big successes. There was a lot of pushback from people who didn't understand what we were trying to do. What people were trying to label us as the Black company doing Black books for Black people. Mm-hmm. There were, you know, people inside the industry that weren't with our agenda. There were people inside of DC that weren't quite with what we were doing and didn't understand why we were doing it. But you're always going to find those kind of challenges and hurdles. You know, it's just how you get over them and what you do.
It seemed like you guys kind of navigated that time period really well.
We tried our best. I mean, it was trying times, because by the time the first generation of Milestone ended, we had it was also the downturn of the comics industry, right? It was the implosion. So it went from a real high, and then we were caught up in the implosion also. So we got the benefits, but we also got, you know, the effects of people going, oh man, why are we buying all these comic books? They're not going to all be valuable. And then everyone just stopped.
Right. Well, you know, but everybody was riding that same kind of roller coaster at that moment. But I think that, you know, your work with Milestone kind of opened other doors for you too, right? I mean, that's when you got to do work in animation as a.
Oh my God, you really did do your research. Yes,
I tried.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we did the Static Shock TV show for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there I went on to develop a show called The Boondocks with Aaron McGruber over at Sony, and then I did the Black Panther, went over to BET, headed up their animation department. We did the Black Panther there, the series. We've done a lot of stuff. So it did lead into other things in a very natural, organic way. That was good. But it was, in a way, it was also continuing the same kinds of things I was doing at Milestone.
Right. How did you feel about that transition from, you know, comic artist, creator, into something, you know, more of a, I mean, it wasn't more of a really a management. I mean, I'm sure you were guiding a lot of the direction.
It was more management. It was like a lot of papers being pushed from one end to the other and wondering what you were doing, you know, that was really productive. But I found it very challenging and very fulfilling in a way, because, you know, you're doing stuff and you're making stuff, and you're doing animation, and you're working for years and no one's ever seeing it. Mm-hmm. But when people do see it, you're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. You're not reaching tens of thousands of people. So it's a whole different thing that you're into. So when I was doing all those things with, you know, with the Black Panther and Static, it was a whole different kind of audience and a whole different kind of, you know, experience for me to do that. Just as equally as valuable as comic books, but not as artistically fulfilling, but certainly creatively, it was very fulfilling, because we got to see these things, you know, get on screen. And plus I got to tell people what I wanted to see on screen, and they had to kind of listen. That part was good too.
I get it. I probably would enjoy that as well. But that's you know, Static was, you know, I watched that cartoon. because my kids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And it was fun. And, it really was, it was something, a fresh approach to a superhero.
You can catch it on HBO Max right now if you want to see all 4 seasons of Static.
That's right. I have HBO Max. I haven't started rewatching it, but I kind of flagged it as something that I want to get back to because I haven't seen them since they originally aired.
I haven't watched them either because it's weird watching your own shows on TV. That's very let's go to HBO Max. Let me put on Static Shots. It's very strange. So I haven't really. I've watched I think I watched the first episode we did. And then I got very self-conscious about watching it in front of my whole family. I didn't know what I was looking. Very straight. So I just stopped.
Your audio is breaking up a little bit, but I understand what you're saying. Oh,
can you hear me now?
That's better. Yeah,
okay.
Maybe when you were leaning back.
No, I'm just leaning back. I was just saying I'm trying to, we have Static Shocks on HBO, and it's very strange, HBO Max. And I've seen one episode because it's very hard for me to sit there with my family and watch my own show. Y'all never seen this before, right? Let's watch all together. And then they're all looking at me. So, but I know it's there, and I know it's great. I am going to get into it though. I'm going to watch it.
Dwayne Zapane says it's nice to see a resurgence and interest in those characters as well. I mean, and it's got to be fulfilling for you too to see that, to know that this work lives on, and I think it's kind of cyclical, right? I mean, we're talking about a period that was 15, 20 years ago, and now it's kind of coming back.
Yeah, it was 25 years ago. It was
25 years ago. I'm sorry.
It's a long time ago. But everything comes back around, and a lot of things of quality tend to come back around. So that part is fulfilling, knowing that these characters had such strong bones and good legs that they could live on years later and be as fresh and as open to interpretation, but as solid as they can be, has been great. It's been very fulfilling.
Yep. It's an exciting time, I think, in comics as well.
Yeah, it is.
It's very interesting. But yeah, you were mentioning as well that you were going to be doing something with South by the Southwest stuff, right? Coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna
announce more details.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few more details. I know that Milestone is going to be at South by Southwest. Reggie and I are going to be there. I know we have a panel on a Thursday about Black superheroes. So hopefully I'm not jumping the gun by saying this. I don't think I am. But yeah, we're going to be there a couple of weeks. So that's going to be fun.
That's exciting.
DC has a lot of stuff going on there. So that's going to be good to see. But it's going to be very exciting. Yes. And it's going to be exciting being amongst people again. That's going to be different.
Yeah, I went to the Marvel exhibit in Columbus last weekend, and that was the first time I was in a big crowd. And
was that weird?
It was very weird, honestly. I wasn't uncomfortable, but I felt out of place, being around that many people in such a big facility, and and you're gonna, that's the same kind of situation you're going to be in there, but you're going to be surrounded by a lot of really interesting people. I can't imagine how fun that's going to be to kind of just hang out.
I'm looking forward to it. I probably would look more forward to it if I was 30, but we're all in. I'm all in.
Right. Well, come on, you can't call yourself an old man. I mean, right now, I mean, you're older. I mean, I'm 53.
Right.
So, you're only a couple years older than I am. So it's, but so we're getting a lot of questions from the audience. So maybe we should talk a little bit more about your early career. Somebody had asked, when you got started, was there anybody, a creator that was kind of a mentor or somebody that you looked up to in the business? And I don't have their question or who asked it, but
people don't believe me when I say this, but I was so fortunate to be taught by the very best at a very young age. I got into comics when I was 14 years old. I was going to the High School of Art and Design, and a pal of mine was an assistant to Rich Buckler. And he said, actually, he was an assistant to the guy who assisted Rich Buckler, a guy named Ken Landgraf. He said, I'm going to go meet Ken. You want to come up with me? I'm going to go see Ken. And I'd been hanging around Armando for a while. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went and met Ken, and he introduced me to Rich Buckler. I ended up working for Rich when I was 14 years old. And wasn't because I was a good artist. I think he just needed someone to go out to the store for him and run errands and clean the studio, because that's basically what I did for about a year. And slowly he started teaching me how to draw comic books and what it took to put a comic book page together. And I'm like a young kid struggling to do this, but it was an awesome education. From there, I'm still in high school, by the way, working with Rich. And so from there, I ended up working at Continuity and working for Neil Adams. Yes, I worked for Neil Adams. I was 15 working for Neil Adams. He can jump on and tell you. And I did that for about 4 years. Just up at that studio, up at Continuity every day, meeting Russ Heath and you know, seeing Neil and seeing Dick Giordano was up there when I first got there. And you know, just all the artists that were working, Joe Rubenstein, all these guys working up there, and they all kind of mentored me. You know, Larry Hamill was up there, everybody, Carl Potts. So that was my youth. That was my youth. I didn't even mention, while I'm in high school, one of my high school teachers was an artist named Bernie Krigstein. Bernie Krigstein was the EC artist, Master Race.
Yeah, of course.
That was my illustration teacher in high school. I was so lucky to like run into these people and to work with them. So I had a hell of an education. I should be much better than I am, considering all the people who really taught me. So I got a very early start, and my early start was a lot of education, not a lot of paid work, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So was a lot of that early work, and this was a question from the audience, was a lot of the early work advertising based, or was it comic based?
Most of it was comic based. Most of it was backgrounds, drawing buildings, drawing cars, drawing all that stuff. With Neil Adams, a lot of it was advertising based. So a lot of it was storyboards for advertising, commercials, comps for, you know, magazine illustrations and commercials, a lot of stuff like that. The skills, the drawing skills are drawing skills. You know, the skills are the same. It's the application that was a little different.
Sure.
Yeah.
But how fortunate though. I mean, a lot of really great creators got to work in Continuity. I mean, as you know, so just having that opportunity, and you know, Neil really did help a lot of people get their careers started. I mean,
Neil should get credit for mentoring half the damn industry because he really did. It was a tough school, but you know, it was Neil. Neil deserves all the credit in the world. One of my dads, for real. You know, I just owe him so much. So he does deserve a lot of credit. Him and his whole family, they're all great. I love them all.
Yeah, I've had the good fortune to interview Neil once as well. I did a show like this with him. We did a chat, and then did a sale with him as well. So and that was the first time I got to do that, but I got to meet the whole family in the green room before and after the show.
All of them.
Yeah, they were fantastic to work with. It. Yeah. I hope to do something with them again. But yeah, Neil's fun. You know, he's I don't want to say he's opinionated, but yeah, you know, he knows what he knows what he wants, and there's no diverting him, but he's happy to share what he feels is the right way to do things.
Exactly the same as I remember him, just a little bit older, but he's the same guy, you know, just amazing person to be around. So
let's see. Kat asked if there's a sale today. Yes, there will be a sale today, Kat. Probably we'll probably talk for another 20 minutes or so, and then we'll do the art sale. How's that sound? But I like to get these things started with a chat because it's, you know, kind of gives people time to get into the show and
no worries.
So you know, you have had the opportunity to work with a lot of great creators in your time, and I queued up some images that were on Comic Art Fans because I thought it would be fun to talk about a few pieces.
All right.
And this first piece is actually it was in Matt W's collection, but you know, this is one of the more viewed pieces of art on Comic Art Fans that you put your hand on. So it's quite very fitting. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. But what do you remember most about your time during the work on with the question?
I remember two distinct periods with the question. The first period was when they asked me to do the book. I didn't know who the character was, and I had to go that weekend and kind of read about the Steve Ditko version and realize quickly I couldn't do that. And then, okay, I can do this book. I can tackle it. And then reading Denny's script Denny and Mike Gold both talked me into doing it. So I think Denny was a little bit more skeptical about the whole thing because he had worked with me on Power Man and Iron Fist and knew what a pain I was. But I agreed to do it, did the first issue, and I got beat up over it. Denny didn't like it. Mike didn't like it. I had to redo stuff. It was like, you know, the question was probably the book where I grew the most, why I learned the most, grew the most, and took, and you could see the difference between the first issue and the last issue of the question in terms of artistic growth, because I was really put through it and put myself through it in order to be a better artist. You know, so my memories of the question of that. But also I remember doing the stories, drawing the stories, reading the stories while I was drawing them, but always surprised at the impact that it had on people when they read the stories. Because I'm reading it as an insider and just drawing it as an assignment, but they're reading it, A Dream of Rorschach and all the other things, like,
right.
You know, it's a whole different experience. So yeah, look at that. I also think about working with Bill.
That was going to be my next question, and I saw Nick Barucci mentioned it as well. But you've had a long, relationship with working with Bill, and what was that? You know, when you guys first started working together, what was that like?
I knew Bill. Bill and I have known each other since we were very, very young. I was at DC Comics, sitting in the lobby, probably with Trevor Von Eaton or somebody, when this guy walks in a corduroy jacket, pants, a tie, and a shirt. This white dude with a portfolio. And I remember looking at him as he walked in thinking, who's this dude? And it was Bill. He had an appointment up at DC. I didn't think anything of it and I remember this because later on I'm at Continuity. Remember, I'm working at Continuity.
Right.
And I'm sitting behind Neil at my desk and I'm working. And that same dude walks in. It might have been the same damn day. He walks in and he introduces himself as Bill Sienkiewicz, and he's here to see Neil Adams. And the receptionist took him back. He must have had an appointment. And Neil had an office he had a front office. There's a big room in the front. The windows face 48th Street. And he would look at people's portfolios and stuff in this front office. So he laid out Bill's portfolio on a desk. This is after looking at it. I think I looked at it for a while. And then he calls us all over, all his little assistants, all the people who worked for him, especially me. Dennis, come here. Hey, come here and look at this. So we're looking at his portfolios. He's flipping through it. And he says, see, Bill Sienkiewicz, this guy is doing me, but he's doing it right. And I'm looking at this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this work is so great. This does look like Neil, but it's not like a straight copy. I was devastated. It was so good. Here I am doing dinky backgrounds for Neil, and this guy's already coming in, like blowing everyone away. Eventually, we may have met up there, but eventually we ran into each other again. And we just ended up hanging out. Close to the same age. Bill is a terrific dude. I ended up going out to Westport, Connecticut, and staying with him a whole bunch of times. I met Stan Drake. I met Leonard Starr through Bill. I met all these people. And then we just started working together. I would draw and he would ink. You know, I rarely inked anything of his. But it was just a very natural way of doing it. I also, a lot of people don't know this, Bill did a book called The Jimi Hendrix Voodoo Child. But I was posing as Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, you were?
That's how much I was up there. Yeah, that's how much I was with Bill. Can you be my model? Like, all right. You know. So I did it. It was great. Yeah. No, I've known Bill forever. And artistically, it's been a joy. But like everybody else, that's an intimidating dude to work with because he is so good. You're literally working with like one of the best who's ever done it in comics or in illustration or anything. So if he blesses you by inking your work, I never take it for granted. I've always thought I was the luckiest guy to be able to collaborate with someone of that talent, that caliber, for real. So no, I love Bill. That's my man.
Well, and it continues today, right? I mean, you
Continues
still.
right to this day. He's doing hardware with me.
Mhm. Oh wow, okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
know
he's
that.
doing hardware. Yeah, so we're still doing it, and hopefully we'll continue to do it. We wanted to be one of those classic teams. That's true. We did talk. The rare moments we allow ourselves to look at our careers in comics, and we're like, okay, all right, we want to be like Kirby and Sinnott. We want to be like, Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. We want to be like those classic teams. Are we like those classic teams? Well, people say Cowan and Sienkiewicz and put us in the same, like, I think that they could. I think there's an argument to be made for like longevity and quality and consistency of work.
Sure.
And where the third thing doesn't look like either one of them by themselves. It looks like a separate thing. It's Cowan and Sienkiewicz. It's not just Cowan. It's not what he would do by himself and not what Bill would do by himself. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've had the good fortune of working with a lot of, talented inkers and, Kent Williams, Francis Rollins.
Yes. Here's the thing. Only work with the best.
Yeah.
And that way you'll never, ever, ever, ever have a problem. Kent Williams is one of the best. Bill Sienkiewicz, the best. Klaus Janson, the best. Prentice, fucking godsend.
Yeah.
When we did hardware, like, oh my God, he carried such a load. The best. Work with the best. You won't have any problems. Hopefully they want to work with you. So there's that.
Right. I mean, clearly you've worked with the greats, but do you have anyone that you felt was the best fit for you, or they all just complimented you in different ways? Like you said,
they all complimented me in different ways. I mean, they all complimented me in different ways. Bill probably would win because he's the closest to my heart, in terms of what we do and all the things we've gone through. But Klaus, brilliant inker. And every time I work with people like Klaus and Kent, I always learn something. Mostly what not to do so I don't confuse them anymore. What I do. They're great.
Yeah, but what is that relationship like between penciler and inker? And in those cases, like when you say you learn what not to do, I mean, did they come back to you and say things, or is it more when you saw what their finished product was that you realized maybe you could have given them
the product is? I'll be like, oh man, why did I do all that? They didn't even half of that, and it looks better, Occasionally it's the other way around. Man, I put all this stuff in, they didn't do any of it, But again, if you work with the very best, whatever they do is so awesome that you don't mind the stuff that they didn't, so.
Well, there's definitely a lot of love for you and Sienkiewicz, but as everybody else mentioned, these other guys did a fantastic job working with you as well.
Thanks. Nice.
Yeah, let's see. I know I've got a couple pieces here. So like this was a more recent one. This was the pencil version. Yeah, this because and we're going to talk about that a bit when we get to the sale portion of things. But in some cases, we've got pencil pieces that were blue line and then inked by someone else. And then in this case, it was blue line inks by Sienkiewicz, I think, right?
Yeah, Bill inked this. Yeah, Bill inked this one. This one got sent to him. I sent the file to him. There it is. I sent the file to him, high res file, and then he blows it up and does whatever he does and inks it traditionally, digitally, whatever he wants to do. So, yeah, that was the first one. That was me returning to the question going, I forgot how to draw this character. And I thought I had him done. So it was like a struggle, that first issue, because I had to learn them all over again. Very strange.
Well, it looks like, like you were just talking about, sometimes you can do less is more. This piece, you filled every inch of that page.
Yeah.
For Bill. Yeah. Was that did Bill say anything about that when he saw it, or does he like look at something and just say he's up for the challenge no matter what he gets?
The metal lines didn't bother him. He knows what to do in all cases. So no, it's always. I just try to give him as much as I can, as much information as I can, especially these days, so that he can do the best work he can.
This is
yep, me and Bill on Wolverine. Yep.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
A great page.
Thanks.
And then this one was another piece with Rollins.
Yeah. This is Batman Ultimate Evil. So this is what I did with a story I did with Andrew Vox, who passed away recently, who did the Burke novels and all that. Great writer, great crusader for children, victims of violence and stuff. We collaborated on a Batman book. So that's what this is. It's the ultimate evil.
It's a great image, and
Thanks.
and all of these are some of like the most viewed pieces of yours that are on Comic Art Fans too.
Right on.
Yeah, even from your work on Moon Knight as well.
So that's when I inked myself.
Right. And this one, I was trying to find some pieces that weren't, where you were collaborating. So this was one of the few that were in the top. But this is a great image as well.
Yeah, thanks. So okay, so I did this one, doing my best Bill Sienkiewicz impersonation of Bill inking Denys Cowan that I possibly could. I think that was my whole thing on this. I'm like, well, Bill can ink like that. I can ink myself like that. So that's what I was trying to do. That's hilarious to see that.
Yeah, there were a few Moon Knight covers that I could have picked from. I like this one the best, though.
Thank you.
And then this is in McHale's collection.
Yeah, that's me and that's Kent Williams and I.
Yeah,
always been one of my favorite covers. Always been one of my favorite covers. I love working with Kent. But Bill and Kent bring out different aspects of my work, I think. Bill may bring out some of the more illustrious, the more illustrative aspects of it. Kent brings out more of the power and more of the emotion, when I start to look at it. Kent's a very emotional, very direct kind of inker that way. He feels all the stuff that he does. It's not just, he doesn't just put down lines for no reason. And you can see that. You can see that in his work. I've always loved these covers. So not what I did, but what Kent did.
Right. How would you view Jansen? A little more in the Kent's line versus Sienkiewicz? I mean, as far as his approach.
Right between the two.
Right in the middle?
Yeah, because Klaus is a brilliant technician, brilliant drawer. He can draw his ass off. He can tell a story. There's no aspect of anything I'm doing that he doesn't understand. But his inking skills and his ability to spot blacks, and he's a phenomenal inker. But he's right between the two. He gets the heart, but he'll also get some of the sketchy line stuff if he wants to do that too. I love when Klaus and I work together. We did the first 2 issues of the Black Panther miniseries together, right? And it was a revelation to me. It was a revelation. I love them. I couldn't believe that I was working with this guy. This is a guy named Frank Miller on Dark Knight. He's inking me. It was like he inked Frank Miller on Daredevil, and he's inking me. I'm like that. I'm like that kind of geek. So I was thrilled to have him. But he's like kind of in between those two guys.
So why do you think you had such good fortune in the inkers that were assigned to work with you? I mean, did you have any say in that, or was it just, it just happened?
Begging. It's
begging.
Yeah. If you beg, please, Bill, you got to hook me up, please, Klaus. Chances are, if they have time, they'll do it. I just asked, I just asked, and if they have time, they'll do it. And fortunately, they both nodded yes at the right time. So.
Well, very, very fortunate. But I mean, clearly, you can tell their passion for the work as well was there, and they didn't cut corners. They really put a lot of themselves into the work as well.
No, they're great artists. They're fantastic artists. So very, very fortunate. That was Dick Giordano, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That was one of the first assignments for covers I got at DC when I was one of the new kids on the block, and I just finished doing Firestorm or whatever I've been doing up there. And for some reason, that's in '87. They started putting me on different covers, and Batman covers, which was crazy. But yeah, that's one of them. That's one with Dick Giordano. It's amazing to look at it now.
Yeah, what was working with Dick like? I only got to meet him one time, and I didn't get to talk to him too much. But you got to be around him quite a bit, I imagine, at least early on.
Oh, this is Max. Yeah, this is from Max Allan Collins. The first time I met Dick, was my first visit to continuity. My first visit to continuity was when I was like 14 or 15, hanging around. I may have been with Joe Rubenstein or somebody. And I was up at continuity, and Dick saw me up there. Was wondering what I was doing there because I wasn't working or doing anything. Looked at Neil and said, "Get this kid out of here." So my first interaction with Dick Giordano was getting thrown out of continuity by him. Like, why was I up there? What was I doing? Get out of here. And then the next time I saw him, I think he was an editor at DC at that point, and I was, or the editor in chief at DC, and I'm trying to get work, and he remembered me. And I think I just cracked him up because I was still hanging around, even though you kicked me out. I'm still I'm still there. I'm not going anywhere. And he is the one actually who gave me the question assignment. Called me in his office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Friday afternoon. Wanted to talk to me. It was late. Nobody else was around. People had split, but I was still up there. And he said, "Denys, come in my office for a second. I want to ask you something." I went in and sat down. And he looked at me and he told me about this character they're doing, and the artist that they had had committed to it but couldn't do it, and they needed a guy at the last minute. And could I do it? And I said, "Well, it was a book." He said, "It's a question." And then he gave me all the Steve Ditko stuff and all that, and I just went home and I had to think about it over the weekend. And Monday I came in and said, "Yeah, I'll do it." I probably should have just said yes right then, because what was there to think about?
Right.
You're a book, but yeah, Dick, very instrumental in my career as far as kicking me out of continuity and then giving me my first major assignment.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That he remembered you after, a few years.
He did. He was great. Great guy.
Yeah, Caesar says Ernie Chan was supposed to be the artist on that. I guess I wasn't aware of that. But either way, I mean, a good fortune for you.
It was Ernie Cologne.
Oh,
Ernie Cologne was supposed to be the Amethyst artist. He was supposed to be, yes, he was supposed to be and he couldn't do it for some reason or the other. I think it was overcommitment or whatever. And so then I did it.
Well, it sounds like, Dick Giordano was definitely, he kept you in mind. I mean, when the right project rolled around.
And I was in the right place at the right time. It literally could have been because I was at the office wandering around and they're looking around, they need an artist. I happened to walk by. Get Denys, get him in here. That's probably what happened. I don't know if I was on a list or anything.
So, I mean, that was, I didn't really ask Neil a lot about continuity, and I've read a lot about it. But so they were really kind of, I mean, they were just kind of I wouldn't say that they were the art directors, but they were a resource for DC. I mean, when they needed somebody, they would go, and at times over to continuity and just say, "We need to get something done." Yeah. And so I imagine that kind of led to a lot of a variety of work for you guys who were in the studio as well, right? I mean, which had to have been a foundation of a great education for you.
Well, a lot of times, we would get some comic book jobs, and though they never really let me touch any of the comic book stuff, very few. But there were like jobs that would come in, and they wouldn't be continuity jobs, but they would be crusty bunker jobs. So that's when Neil and Klaus and whoever he could get would just get on these comic books and get them done, ink them. People would take panels. People would take figures. Neil would do all the Conan figures. Somebody do all the horses. They would just do it like that. And I got to watch a lot of that. They wouldn't let me touch any of that. No. so they could have to fix it up later. No. But I got to see some of that. So it was a great training ground for all of us in those ways. Not only to actually work on the stuff, but to actually be around it. Sometimes just being around an environment will be incredibly helpful.
Well, a lot to absorb there.
Yeah.
I mean, and then just watching professionals in action, right? And how they handle stress, deadlines, all those things have to be, good learning, points for you for the rest of your career, things that you're going to carry with you forever.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I think we answered the mentor question really broadly there, but that's So let's see. There was a question from Christopher about the Doers ad, and what is the background of the 1990s Doers ad? It was a blast seeing it in Rolling Stone.
They asked me. I think I had done something. I don't remember. I had been on TV in some Milestone thing, I don't even remember what it was, but it was a short thing. And it came to the attention of the Doors people.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, I'm getting a call from the, the advertising agency that represented Doors asking me if I'd be willing to be part of this profile. Sure. I don't know what a Doors profile is, but I'll do it. It was two photography sessions. One was a black and white session that no one ever saw. It was done by a photographer named Greg Heisler, who's excellent. And the second one was done by a photographer named William Coupon, who did the ones that everyone saw. And he worked much more with Rembrandt lighting and ambience and all that kind of stuff. It was exactly what people think. It's like I was sitting down in the studio. That desk is not my desk. The shirt, I don't even think is my shirt. They did the whole makeup thing. They did the whole thing. And this is back when I had a high top, flat top fade, so my fade was right. And they took the picture. And then the interesting side note to that is, it's Doors, it's liquor. I don't drink. And I used to, but at that point I wasn't drinking anymore. I'd stopped all that. But they wanted me to go on a tour, like to be the Doors guy and to go to different bars and to drink with people and meet them and do this whole thing nationwide. And I'm thinking,
how are you going to do that?
There's no way. So we had to turn that down. That wasn't gonna work out. But that would have been very interesting seeing me like drinking iced tea, across the nation while other people are getting
right
up. Yeah, so I was a very poor Doors spokesman. Very poor.
Well, I'm gonna have to Google it because I'm not familiar with it.
Never seen it? Yeah, just put it.
No, I haven't, but I made a note to Google it after the show. Let's see. Andrew Gorlick asked if you have a piece of work that you are most fond of, proud of, or maybe not even just a single piece of work, but a particular title or that you worked on.
It would probably be my Milestone stuff.
Yeah.
Starting Milestone and working with the great people that we work with. It would be Milestone Media. Be my proudest achievement.
Well, it seems that way, and you still live in it today. I mean,
I'm still in it
with the initiative.
Yeah, still in it, and we're publishing more comic books with DC. So,
yeah, I mean, when I was trying to do my research, again, there was mention about bringing Milestone more into the DCU, and clearly that's happened in comics and on, I guess, in other media forms as well. So that's got to, I don't know, to me, that's got to be really rewarding to see your creations kind of, live on like that.
It is. I mean, we're doing an animated movie starring all the Milestone characters. We're doing a live action movie with Michael B. Jordan as our executive producer. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Happening. So it's a very exciting time, to be involved with Milestone and to work on these characters and to bring it back. It's been an incredible time. So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so exciting. I mean, I'm so impressed by that. It's neat seeing, because I've talked with a few other creators as well, and I think it's just nice to see that they're getting the recognition that they deserve today in many different ways. Getting to see your creations in different formats has to be, one of the greatest achievements, I think, as a creator, and knowing that your works are going to live on for such a long time and be appreciated by entirely new audiences. Like you were saying, when you went from a book with a 30 or 40,000 circulation to all of a sudden being in the homes of several 100,000, that's a great leap. And I don't know. I mean, I just can't imagine how much, how great that must feel.
It's great. It's great. It's great. I mean, you don't get to sign autographs like you do in comics, and people like, "Oh, Mr. Cowan, can you sign my book?" Nobody's doing that. Nobody ever said, "Mr. Cowan, can you sign this DVD of Static Shock that I bought?" No one's ever done that. But it
might happen though.
It might. We'll see.
They're slabbing VHS tapes now and everything. So next thing you know,
I know
somebody might ask you to do one.
I know. We'll see.
Oh, that's right. Now that I mentioned that, I mentioned Static here. I did have an image of Static I was going to show. I forgot. This is a really nice one too.
Yeah, that was a commission. I think that was a Static commission that someone wanted me to do. That was a lot of fun. I always enjoyed drawing this character. I love Static. But I don't draw him as well as, the people who actually do Static. Like Paul Leon was an awesome, incredible artist.
Oh my gosh, wasn't he? Yes.
He was the Static artist to me. And our new guy, Nicholas Draper Ivy, to me is the Static artist. I'm the guy who helped create him and design the initial costume. But after that, he's taken on a life of his own.
So when Milestone got started, did you help with all the character designs?
When Milestone got started, it was me, Dwayne McDuffie, Michael Davis, Christopher Priest, and Derek Dingle. I was the only artist among all of us.
Right.
We all had to do everything. So I designed all the costumes. I did all the character designs. I did everything. Design Icon, Rocket, Blood Syndicate, all of it. So yeah, and I had a hand in all of it. It was out of necessity more than desire. It wasn't like I wanted to design everything. I just had to.
Right. It was out of necessity since you were
and we weren't paying anybody. So then I really had to do it.
Well, then that sounds like maybe one of the only mistakes you made when you created Milestone was not to have a second artist on board with you.
Right. But then I couldn't take all the credit. So
that is true. That is true. Oh man. Well, I don't know if anybody else has any questions from the audience before we start showing some art for sale. But if anybody does, please show them, and we can obviously pause for a moment to throw a question up here for Denys if anybody had one. But is there anything else you want to talk about, Denys, before we show some of the artworks?
No, I can't think of anything. I was looking around my studio. Nah. It's all good.
All right, well, I think I highlighted all the questions that popped in, or I asked them myself. So, so why don't I remind everybody, where is his hat? What is that? Where is his hat?
With my hat?
That's what Cat Talk just asked. Where is his hat?
That's funny. Okay, I'm a hook cat at home. I'll put on my Ford racing cap. I'm gonna hook her up because people used to see me like this.
Right.
One of my I wear a hat in my house. Where's his hat? His cat. She's so funny. Anyway.
George Hodge, who is a musician, wanted to know if you play guitar between drawing.
I do.
Yeah.
Not very well, but I do. It's if you could see the rest of my studio, which you can't, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other guitars that are out off camera you can't see.
Oh, nice.
There's one right here. I'm serious.
Wow. All right. Well, maybe you probably don't play that bad if you've got that many guitars right in your.
Well, having a guitar collection does not make you a guitar player. It does mean you have a guitar collection. But I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. George is. He wishes you could show off them all, but he said that he noticed you were a Chris Cornell fan.
I am. How does he know that? How do people know that?
Well, I like it. George is a musician. I mean, musicians have their ways. So he's also an artist and an art collector. So George,
yeah. No, I'm a big Chris Cornell fan, big Soundgarden fan of all that stuff. Just a phenomenal talent, So, yeah, I have good taste. Good taste.
Well. Maybe we'll get to do another one of these, a few months down the road, and we could have you play a little bit for us.
Yeah, right. By that time, I'll be a better player, so I'll be happy.
All right. Well, then this might work out. We'll say 6 months from now.
Right. Perfect.
You can practice.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Just starting to read through the chat here before we get started here. But why don't I pull up that slide to remind everybody, and let me get the email address back on screen too, because I know I saw a few people who were asking as a reminder for how we're going to do this today. So the claims are not happening in the chat. When we show a lot during the show, you're going to email Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com. And let me get the slide that kind of gives you all the detail on that as well. So you're going to email Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com. So kind of get that prepped with your email client of choice, whether you're on your phone, tablet, or desktop computer today. And in the subject of the email, we want you to include Cowan Art Sale. And then in the body of the email, please put the lot number that you're wishing to claim, and at least some of your contact information, your name at the very least, because when the show's over, we will be reaching out to you to get your full mailing information, and so that we can get proper invoices out to you once everything is said and done today. So, I mean, we've done these similar shows in the past, as you know, and as a reminder on the shipping, domestic shipping will be $20, and then international shipping will be $50 on top of the lot prices that we're going to show you this afternoon. So hopefully everybody's got that squared away. No questions from the audience. Andrew's asking what the price range will be today. Primarily in the I think 4 to 7 range, but we do have one cover that is up there as well. So you'll get to see a few different things, and hopefully we'll sell a few pieces here for Denys. So let's see here. Why don't we get the first piece up on the screen? And well, how about, even before I do it, one last reminder, so everybody's got it, Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com. Don't forget that. Nicole's she's going to basically be texting me as the pieces are claimed. First email that she gets is the one that gets it. So if 3 or 4 emails come in, she's taking the first timestamp, the earliest timestamp email that she gets, and that will be the lot winner. We won't announce the lot winner in the stream, but we will state that it has been claimed, and Nicole will reply back to the person who has won the lot so that they know that they got it. If you don't get a reply and you sent an email to Nicole, then that means you did not get the piece. And I think during the last show, everybody wanted me to go a little bit slower between lots, so Nicole has a chance to reply to the winner, so the winner knows if they didn't get that one, like lot 1, that then they can be going after lot 2. So I'll try not to be rapid firing the lots this time. I don't think I did last time, but I want to at least space it out enough so Nicole has a chance to reply. And so we're going to get started here. Now, before the first 5 lots, these are actually on 2 boards, penciled on one board and inked on another. And these are going to be from Batman Gotham Knights. And before we show them, Denys, I wasn't sure if you wanted to, talk a little bit about the process, why you do work on 2 separate boards like that.
Because I'm very, very strange. Well, it's really a practical matter for me. Like, I'll draw the comic book first. I'll draw it on the page first. If I'm inking it myself, I'll probably lightbox my pencils, my own pencils. I'll just put a clean sheet of paper over my pencils, turn the lightbox on, grab my pen, and just start inking over that. I want to preserve the pencils, one, in case I make any mistakes. I can just go back and I have the pencils. I never really inked over them, so they're there. And that's basically what it is. It's just like an insurance thing for me, where I'll always have the complete pencils, but I also have a page of inks, and it's my stuff. So that's why I end up with 2 originals, one printed and the pencils.
Interesting. Now, this wasn't a continuity thing, right? This was you. This is your process.
This is my process. So anytime I ink myself, I'll usually have a rough drawing, or I have the pencil piece. Like, I did a bunch of, we're not going to show the commissions yet, but I can show a little bit. Like, I'll do a rough drawing like this, and then this is actually an original. This is actually pencil. I could smear this, and I can erase this, and then I'll just put a piece of paper over this and draw over that.
Sure.
So I'll always have 2 originals that way, which is strange, but
well,
that's my process.
It's becoming more commonplace as people, like you said, with your work with Sienkiewicz, where you're sending blue lines. I mean, a lot of creators, we're getting more and more 2 pieces with the artworks that we buy, because of just the workflow on things. So it's, but when you were penciling and inking, that's why I wanted to ask this question. So I will show 2 slides for each lot on these first 5 pieces, just so you can see the pencil piece and the finished piece.
I drew the whole thing straight through, blacks and everything, just really drew it. And then, okay, I'm going to ink it like I'm Bill, or I'm Klaus, or I'm somebody. Like, I literally think like that, like I'm somebody else. That's an approach.
Sure.
Just to make it clear. What would Klaus do here? What would Bill do? Well, they wouldn't mess it up, so we know that. and then I proceed.
All right. Well, we're going to show the first lot, and again, you're getting both pencil and inked pages, and I will show both slides for those. So let's get lot number 1 on the screen, and Nicole at Third Eye Comics is the email address to send these to. So I'm going to take that off the banner here. So the first lot that we're showing today is from Batman Gotham Knights issue 17. This is the title page, page 1 from it. And again, you're getting both the pencils and inks on this one. So this is the inked page. And let me go ahead and pull up the pencil page that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And both are done on 11 by 17, of course. And the price on this is $800. Any thoughts on this particular piece?
Yeah. This particular job also was different in that when I did it, I didn't know I was going to be inking it at first. I found out midway through. So it kind of changed my approach a little bit to how I was doing it. I also remember having to look up the Scarecrow character, having no idea what he really looked like. So, yeah. No,
well, hey, the good news is this lot's already been claimed as well. So, the Scarecrow was a bit of a, you had to do some research before you jumped into it.
I had to do a little bit of research before jumping to Scarecrow, especially with that noose around his neck and the whole thing. It was very odd. It was a very odd story in a way, but it was good because like this is the one, Swamp Thing was in. So that was a lot of fun.
Yes, that is true. Now I didn't read this, but I really enjoyed looking at the artwork from it.
Oh,
so it made me want to read it because just for the Swamp Thing part of it.
Yeah.
So congratulations to whomever got that. Again, if someone else, if there were multiple claimants that tried to get that piece, if you did not get a reply from Nicole, then you did not get that piece. And we've got 4 more pages from the same book, sequential. We're showing actually we've got pages 1 through 5. So you can kind of prep your mindset for that if you're familiar with the story. So I'm going to go ahead and show the second lot. Let's get that one up here.
Yes.
This is a really, really beautiful page. And again, this is page 2 from issue 17, same issue, Batman Gotham Knights. And it's $500. This is the inked page. And here is the pencils.
Yeah, this is when he picks up a flower, I think, and kind of like discovers, I think he's discovering that Swamp Thing is around or something's going on that's not quite, adding up. But yes.
I'm not seeing a lot of eraser marks on here, though, Dennis.
You're not going to see a lot of eraser marks on the ink page because there was no pencils to erase.
Well, even I'm even looking at the pencil page. I'm not seeing a lot of like you had to go back in and make any changes. But lot number 2 has been claimed.
Like when you see the pencil page at that point, that's probably like my second stage. My first stage is to lay it out 8.5 by 11. My second stage is to give it to my assistant who works with me. A guy works with me named Don Hudson, who's awesome. And Don will put in a lot of the background. So he'll put in, I indicate this is where the tree goes. He'll do all that stuff. And then I'll come back and I'll pencil it. So when you see that pencil version, that is really off of a light boxed layout, which is why you don't see a lot of eraser lines, a lot of struggle with it, because I'm keeping it as clean as possible. And then when I ink it, that's another layer on top of that. Some people might find the steps unnecessary. I kind of like it because I retain control throughout the whole thing, as much as I can. So, yeah, you're not going to see a lot of erasing.
Well, I only mentioned that because, like you said, if you need to make corrections, you've got the pencil piece to always fall back on, and
right.
And I think when I look through everything, I didn't see a lot of need for correction. So
yeah, that's because I draw so well. Yeah. The first
I was just going to say that.
That's really what it is.
All right. So, hey, I saw somebody join late, and so I'm going to just keep reminding everybody we're doing the claims via email. The email address is on the screen. Manuel was the one asking the question about that, and you can see it on the screen right there. Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com is the email address to send your claim to, and you just got to let them know, Nicole, what lot number you're claiming, as it shows on the slide that we're showing, and get them your name. And so that's how we're doing it. If you send in a claim and you don't get a reply immediately, then you know that you didn't get it. So that's how we're doing this today. First email into Nicole gets the artwork. So we're going to go ahead and show the third lot, another page 3 from the same book. Go ahead and get that one on the screen here. And again, this is from the same issue 17. This is page 3. And this one is $500. And Batman's not doing so well in that center panel, but it's beautiful work. Yeah, he is. He is face down in the mud.
Yep.
And here's the pencil piece as well. And as always with these first 5 pieces, you're getting both the inked and pencil version of the page.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice. And again, not a lot of need for correction here. Do you find yourself, I mean, when you're inking yourself, that you might start inking and then toss it and start over again, or how often does that happen?
That's happened a number of times. It's happened a number of times, and sometimes you'll go all the way, like, you know, this is just about done, and it just, you know, you look at it later, it's just wrong. So I've gone often and gone back and fixed stuff. Sometimes there's no time. You know, like, oh,
sure,
I've just made it as perfect as I could. Okay. And then you send it in. But I redo things from time to time, for sure.
All right. Well, lot 3 has been claimed as well. Congratulations to the buyer of that page. Yeah. 3 for 3. That's a good start, Denys.
Right on. That's awesome.
All right. So again, please always remember to email Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com with your claim, with the lot number and your name when we show it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the 4th piece here, lot number 4. And here is that piece. And again, this is page 4 from the same Batman Gotham Knights title that we've been showing. This is the inked version of the page. It's $500 as well. And yeah, Batman's still not doing too well, but
this is when Swamp Thing shows up.
Exactly. Here is the pencil piece for that.
Yeah,
as well.
So Swamp Thing shows up to rescue him.
Yeah, that's yeah. This is a good moment, because the next page you get to see the Swamp Thing. So this is
some of this stuff is funny because you get to see the Scarecrows kind of walking away like they did their job. The alligators looking at him and everything. It's just a bad situation for him. But this was a lot of fun to draw.
Yeah, no, this I can tell.
I'm really looking forward to drawing Swamp Thing more than anything else, more than Batman or anybody. I'm like, I get to draw Swamp Thing. So
was this did you have the opportunity to draw him in a book before?
No, I think this is the first time I've ever drawn Swamp Thing. I could be wrong, but I think it's pretty much the first time.
All right, well, I'll show the pencil piece for that one other time there. Here you go. Please. And this one, I guess, has not been claimed yet, but I should note now that, of course, you can claim anything at any time during the broadcast. And so if I were you, I'd have a pad of paper and a pencil with you so that you can note which lot numbers are still available. So say we're on lot 10 and we've moved on from the published work, and you're like, all right, you know, lot 4 is the one I want to get, then you can go ahead and take care of claiming lot 4 at that time. And Nicole will let me know at that point of the show that the piece is claimed. So we're going to move on from lot 4. It has not been claimed, so we'll show lot 5. And here we go with lot 5. This is same issue, page 5, pencils and inks you get with this lot as well. This is $500, and now you get to see the Swamp Thing. And this is the inks page, and here is the pencil only page. Yeah, this is the actual kind of confrontation, and the Swamp Thing grows something. Like Batman's having a hallucination, and Swamp Thing puts like a flower or something in front of his nose, and it kind of wakes him up out of all that, and then they have their little dialogue. Yeah. Well, but this is cool. When I saw this page, I was like, all right, I got to read this story. It's very strange. It's a strange story. Now, since you hadn't done them before, I mean, what kind of inspiration were you thinking on Swamp Thing? Because there's a lot of Perkins is doing some great stuff with Swamp Thing. Of course, writes in. So when you were tackling the character, kind of what were you trying to channel? Yeah, I think I was thinking about the Alan Moore, John Teitelbaum, Rick Veitch run or whatever. Sure. That's kind of the Swamp Thing. That's how I kind of think about Swamp Thing. I didn't do anything approaching what they did, but that was kind of my memory of doing that and working on Swamp Thing. Well, that one has been picked up as well. Congratulations to the buyer. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right. I hope these end up on Comic Art Fans at some point once they're in everyone's hands. And yeah, like Ruben just said, inks are incredible, so organic and textural. Thank you. All right, so we're going to be moving on to another 5-piece set here, lot 6 through 10. Now these are These are from Dark Knight's Death Metal Infinite Hour Extreme issue 1, featuring Lobo. Now the sequential, well, there's actually 6 pages. I'm sorry, I forgot we actually added an extra page in there. So there are 6 pages to this one, starting with page 28. Now these are the pencil only pieces. And now was this inked by Bill?
This is inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. Yeah.
And
so Bill has the inks.
And we've got the pencils.
Yeah, we've got the pencils.
Well, so that's the difference on these. These next 6 pieces are pencils only, so I don't have to show 2 slides for them, and they'll be. We're going to start off with lot number 6. And sorry, Kat, you're too slow. Just have that email prepped, and a reminder to everybody, just to show it one at a time. Nicole at Third Eye Comics is the email address. Let her know what lot number you want, and get your name in that email. And if you win, you are the first person to get an email to her. So you got to be quick when you're trying to claim a piece of art today. So, all right. So lot number 6 is going to be on the screen in a second. And again, pencils only on this one. So this is page 28 from that Dark Knight's Death Metal Infinite Hour Extreme issue 1. And tell us a little bit about this.
This is so crazy. Okay. So they gave me this assignment. I had no idea what it was. I didn't even know what Lobo Metal was. I know Lobo, the character, but what's the metal thing? Okay. But I'm with it. But the first 3 or 4 pages is retelling the origin of the classic DC characters. So this one is retelling the origin of Superman, except the rocket, the planet explodes, the rocket lands on Earth, they drive through the cornfield, they see it, they open it up. And the first thing, they don't even open it up. The kid opens it up and they see, instead of Superman, they see a little Lobo baby inside. So, with his skull-faced diaper. So, no, this is funny. And then I got to do it again and again. So, but that's the origin of Lobo Superman.
That is great. Now, was the skull diaper your decision, or was that an editorial decision?
I think maybe it was. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe the writer put it in. It'd be great if he had a skull diaper. I don't know. Just bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. I remember drawing it, going, "What am I drawing? Why am I doing this?" But there it is. BWS means black with stars. So.
Oh.
Yes, BWS is black.
I didn't even notice that when I was looking at the piece and putting the slide together. BWS. Yeah. I knew it wasn't Barry Windsor Smith.
It was not Barry Windsor Smith, who I know, who's great, but not.
All right. Well, no one's claimed that one, so we're going to move on to the next page. So again, everybody keep your pad of paper and everything handy so you know which lots are still available. So that's lot 6. We'll move over to lot number 7 now. And let's get that one. It's a slightly different origin retelling.
So this is the retelling of the Batman origin, except this is Batman as Lobo. So, the kids come out of the family comes out of watching Zorro. They get confronted by Joe Chill. But instead of Joe Chill killing them, like, Bruce Wayne pulls out a gun and just kills Joe Chill. Because he's Lobo Bruce Wayne. He's not Bruce Wayne. So,
right.
So it was very funny. It was very funny. I remember liking what Bill did on this.
So on something like this, before you sent it over to Bill, I mean, did you need to send it to the writer or the editor to get
this stuff? Yeah, always. I do the layouts, and I usually send the layouts to the editor so they can look at the storytelling and see if they like it. They usually say, "No, this is great," and then I'll take it and pencil it, and then I'll send the pencil version into the editor, and if they approve it, then I'll send it to Bill.
Great. Well, I can tell you this lot has been picked up. We've got a lot of Batman fans in the audience.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it's Batman.
That's great.
That's a great Lobo Batman. I like that. That's funny.
Well, thank you to whomever picked that up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's one of the many pieces that are at Third Eye. So once the payments are made, those will be mailed out early next week. You'll have them before probably the end of the week next week. So there's always that. And just so you know, we do always expect everyone who claims artwork during the show to get their payments in within the 48 hours. The sooner the better, because that guarantees that the art will ship on Monday or Tuesday, because Third Eye is top notch as far as being able to turn everything around. So keep that in mind. I don't feel like I didn't mention that during the last show, but I would say that that's the expectation going in. We don't want payments to drag out. This is these are non-negotiable deals. We don't take take offers on stuff. We and we like payment as quickly as possible after the show. So all right, so slot 7 has been sold. So let's go over to lot 8. Another origin piece, even more interesting. I don't think I've ever seen Wonder Woman with a cigar.
It's the Lobo Wonder Woman. Again, I'm drawing this up going, why am I drawing this? This is just so wrong. Yes, I got to draw Wonder Woman, which I love, but I got to draw her as Lobo Wonder Woman. So, all the stuff that happens to her as, young Diana being mentored, Steve Trevor's ship crashing into the water. And then she sees Steve Trevor swimming and he's going to be rescued. But instead of rescuing him, she doesn't want any outside influence on Alan. She cuts off his head. And
I can't imagine what reading this story was like for you and sitting down to draw it.
And then we do this hard cut to, the Cyborg Lobo, the Green Lantern Lobo. And it looks like the Martian Manhunter Lobo. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to draw because it was just insane. So,
well, this page has been claimed as well. So congratulations to
that's crazy.
I definitely want this one to appear on CAF soon, because once it's posted, because I know it's going to get a lot of comments.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. That was just nutty.
Well, congratulations to the winner of that piece as well. So that was lot 8. That one's close as well. So we're about 75% so far. 6 for 8, so that's good. Let's see, lot number 9, and so we do have 3 more pieces from that book.
Okay.
And let me get the lot 9 here on the screen for you. Now this is page 31 from the book, and a great image of Lobo at the top there. This lot 9 is priced $600. But how much fun was it drawing the guy?
I love drawing Lobo. I did a Lobo comic book in the 90s, and I filled in for who's the artist on Lobo? I'm forgetting his name. That's terrible. Simon Bisley.
Yeah.
I filled in for Simon on one issue, and it was Lobo's Blazing Chain of Love, and it's where Lobo pretty much screws his way through the entire galaxy. It was so crazy. And I thought, well, okay, I'm done with Lobo. I'll probably never draw this character again. So for him to come back around, it was a lot more fun this time because I think I'm a better artist. But it was just insane revisiting this stuff. Looking at these pencils now, I had a lot of fun on this job. I just wanted to make it really good. Plus, Bill was going to ink it, so it had to be good.
Right.
Yeah, no, this is insane.
Well, this one has been claimed as well. I can highlight that.
That's awesome.
No, that's awesome. I mean, this was one of my favorite pencil pages in the sets that you had sent too. So this is great, and I knew it was going to go to some buyer today. So congratulations to whomever picked it up. Someone said they're detecting a accent from you.
An accent?
I don't know.
If I have an accent, it's a New York accent.
New York accent. Yeah, so it's not. So you're on the West Coast now. So when did you make the move to the West Coast?
Been in LA since '96.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I can't lose the New York accent. It's going to be with me forever.
I'm born and bred and still live in the Midwest, and I can't shake. That's how. And I just want to clarify for everybody, because I had to tell for the last 3 shows that I had, I was calling you Denys Cowan.
Yeah.
Because Jim said that your last name was pronounced Cohen. I even asked him straight up, is it really Cohen? And he said, absolutely. And so I'm so glad that when we talked yesterday that I asked you.
That is so funny.
Because I was like, I still feel like I couldn't be wrong. There's Ruben who's in the audience, who's always correcting me when I'm pronouncing last names. He was like, that can't be right. And so I'm glad that you corrected me before today's show.
Yeah, it's Cowan. No, it's great.
All right. Well, I had to get that out. I forgot to mention that at the start of the show because I know people were probably kicking me about that. But so let's go on to lot 10 now. We got 2 more pieces from the same book. Lot 10, again, Death Metal Infinite Hour. This is from page 32, and it's $400. Great images of Lobo in this one.
Yeah, that's Brainiac, right? And I think that's Brainiac, and that's Lobo giving him a dress. Like, it was just, who wrote this? I don't remember who wrote this. I just remember thinking, how do I draw this character in this dress? and make it convincing and make it, hold on, is this supposed to be, am I drawing funny here? Or am I, it's like really, the best approach to comedy is to just draw it straight. So I think I just do a straight.
Draw it like you're told.
Yeah, draw it like you really mean it. And it's just going to be hilarious. So there it is. I like that shot of Lobo though. I always like drawing him in whatever way I could.
No, this is a really nice page.
Thank you.
And I didn't realize that was Brainiac at first, but now I get it.
It is Brainiac. Yeah, I think it is. With all the circles on his head. I don't know. I could be wrong.
But this lot has been claimed as well.
Wow.
Let everybody know. Another pickup.
Yeah, distracted by the dress. Like, what is going on?
All right, let's pull this out. And there was a question from the audience about any young artists that you're presently impressed by. Anybody, maybe some folks from the Milestone Initiative.
Well, I mentioned Nicholas Draper Ivy, our artist on Static, just blows me away. There are a number of artists at the Milestone Initiative. I can't even tell you their names, but they were so good that I was wondering why they were in the Milestone Initiative. And I wanted to give them work right away. I'm like, you know what? We'll just plug this person out and give them work right now. And I was always, no. This is not what this is for. This is for, they have to go through this program.
Sure.
So there's been a number of artists that I've been very, very impressed. Like I said, Nicholas is one of them. Carrie Randolph, I think, is an amazing artist. There's too many to mention. And if the purpose of this was to depress me by me listing all the artists who I think are great and young and better than me, then they accomplished their goal, because now I'm depressed.
Well, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, really.
That's a different show, Denys.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to talk about other artists on my time. No. Just kidding.
No, I know. Well, obviously, you're mentoring the future of the industry. Yeah. Really, I mean, by doing this. So you're not. I know you're joking here. So. I am joking. All right. Well, let's look at the last page from that book. I know this one is not going to last either, but this is lot number 11, and this is $600. It's page 33 from Death Metal Infinite.
Yeah.
All Lobo.
All the time. The first 4 panels is him deciding, as he ratchets these weapons, that they're not big enough to handle whatever he needs to handle this for. So the first one's a small one, the second one's a bigger one, third one's a bigger one, and the fourth one, he's like, fuck it, this is the one I need. Ratchet. That's why.
I love those first 4 panels too. I mean, you see the progression of the gun just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and bigger.
It was a lot of fun to draw too, because it was like his expression was everything to me. It was like, and then how do you draw that really? Like it's a thing with emotion, so you have to like kind of convey that that's going on. But that's what it is. It's just the bigger gun sequence, and then a close up of Lobo at the end looking all crazy.
No, this is awesome. I'm curious. Yeah, I'd be real curious to see the inked page from Bill, just to see how he decided to treat the motion in those first 4 panels.
Yeah, the stuff he did on this is brilliant. I kind of liked what I did on this. It's one of the few times I'm like, you know what, Denys, you didn't do too bad. But then I got Bill's inks, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah, he bought so much out of it. We had a lot of fun on this. We had a lot of fun.
Well, this one has been claimed as well.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was a great page. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, that was kind of a no-brainer out there. Congratulations to whomever in the audience picked that one.
Thank you. Got a good one.
A lot of guys and gals with good taste out there. I mean, that's why we have over 100 people tuned into the show right now.
Amazing.
Enjoying every minute of it.
Amazing.
Yep. So we've passed the halfway mark now that we've got lot 11 out of the way. There are, like I mentioned, we'll have we got a few more in here. So let me. We have 19 total for the show, and I believe we have 3 more published pieces that we've got available. And I'll show, just because I haven't in a while, I'll show the email address one more time. Nicole at Third Eye Comics is how you claim artwork when you see it. You got to get an email right out to her and let her know which lot number you're claiming and get your name in that. First person who emails her will get the piece, and she will reply to that individual right away. So anybody who does not receive a reply, if you send in a claim, you did not get it. And that's how this claim is working, and it works rather well. Keeps things nice and clean in the chat too. We're all focused on the art and Denys's commentary. So
Yeah.
I really like this format. It's not crazy where all these claims fly in the chat and you have to scroll around and try to figure out who did it first.
No.
It's all on Nicole. She's
Right.
worth every penny.
That's great.
So let's go ahead. We're gonna look at Lot, and I probably could have put this one differently, but yeah, because there's a couple Batman and Robin pieces in here. But I've got a cover that I'm going to show next, and let me pull this one up here. So lot number 12 is a variant cover to the Vampirella number 8, and this is $2,500. Pencils only, and I put the published image beside it, rather small. I guess I could have shown you a larger one, but this appears to have all been digitally painted off of the pencils, correct?
Yeah, it was Chris Sotomayor, I think, colored this one. And originally when I did it, it was supposed to be inked. And I think Christopher Priest was the editor on it. And I think it was just more of a matter of like, they just liked the pencil drawing so much that they just decided to just go with that and not even bother with anything else. So there she is. She was a lot of fun because I got to draw a black Vampirella, which was like amazing for me to do. Yeah. So there she is with her bat. I think the bat was the hardest thing for me to draw in this. It's like, I didn't draw a bat, make sure it works. But yeah, no, this is great. And one of the few times I got to draw her at all. In fact, the only time I don't think I've ever drawn her again.
Was only for this cover, huh?
It was only for this cover. For this Vampirella cover.
I agree with everybody in the audience. It's an absolutely beautiful cover.
Oh man, thank you. No, it's there she is.
Well, everybody's thinking about it, but so when you got this job, I mean, was there any direction, or just said draw a attractive?
This was more of a, hey Dennis, do you have time to draw a Vampirella cover? And I'm like, huh? And they're like, Vampirella color, except she's black. So if you could draw like a black Vampirella, you'd be perfect for this. And I was like, okay. So I did it, and I was very, very, very happy to do it.
No, it is beautiful, and it was surprising because this is one of the first pieces you sent over to me to take a look at, and and I hadn't seen the published cover before, so I was impressed.
Yeah, thank you. So
no problem. Well, this one's still out there, everybody, and if it doesn't get claimed during the show, I mean, technically you probably have a lot of people watch these shows after the fact too. So, so really, if somebody were to see the show this weekend before, anything that doesn't get claimed that was sent to Third Eye will get shipped back to Dennis. So if you see the show later this evening, tomorrow morning, and that pieces haven't been claimed, you're more than welcome to shoot Nicole an email, to let her know that you want to claim it. I mean, just to keep that out there because probably by Monday, anything that wasn't claimed during the show will get sent back to Dennis. But it doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of things getting sent back to you, Dennis. Which is a good thing. Yeah. But I should let everybody know that, because a lot of people don't watch our shows live, even though we still have a really sizable group here watching the show right now. So all right, so lot 12 is still out there at the $2,500. That was the cover, and we're going to move on to lot 13, and this is. And I can let you know that lot 6 was actually just claimed as well. That was I can pull that up on the screen just to remind everybody which piece that was. And that was there you go. The skull diaper has won somebody over. And this is awesome. Congratulations on that one. And this is kind of how the shows will typically go. Sometimes people will wait it out and just to see what pieces are available, and they know what's left at the end, and so they go for it. So lot 6 has been claimed. So the only lots that haven't been claimed are lot 4 and lot 12 so far. So let's move on to lot 13 and get this one on the screen. This is from Batman and Robin, issue 2, page 14, and this one is $500. It is pencils only. I should have mentioned that before we got started on these as well. So on this piece, Dennis, it was also inked separately.
Yeah, this was inked separately. These are the actual pencils. They were, Xerox scanned, high res, and sent to Klaus Janson, because Klaus inked Batman and Robin on this. And it was our second time to work together after doing the Black Panther. And we had such a good time. We really wanted to do it again. So and Batman was a perfect place to do it. And I got to draw the Red Hood and Robin. So this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is a lot of great action in this piece.
Thank you. Thank you. All the X's indicate where the black areas go. And sometimes we'll do that just because you don't always want to fill up the page with black lead, which will smear over everything. And it's going to be black anyway, so we'll just put an X.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's needed there.
Easy instruction for Klaus.
Yeah, it's just a shorthand. It's just a shorthand for Klaus. And
well, again, this is I haven't seen the published piece, so now it makes me want to go, and I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, Klaus really did his thing. It was great.
Well, it looks like I'm getting a text here from Nicole, but I'll wait till it actually comes in. There it goes. So lot 13 has been claimed. Congratulations to the winner of that one. But yeah, this is a great piece. And the next page that we'll show is also from that same book. But I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds here just to make sure that they got the email. Whoever claimed that gets their notification. So had you worked with Klaus before that too? I mean, quite a bit, right?
Well, Klaus inked me on a number of hardware covers.
Right.
You know, back in the original run of Milestone, we asked him to do it, and he did it, and they were great. But I think the next time we worked together was the Black Panther miniseries.
Right. That's right. You mentioned that earlier.
You know, in like 09 or 08 or whenever I did that stuff. Mm-hmm. The next time we worked together, and we had such a good time. We really did. And it's some of my favorite work that I've ever drawn or ever seen in print. And then we wanted to continue that. So when I asked him to do Batman and Robin, you know, he said yes, because we just had such a great time. So yes. Well, thank you, Omega Comics.
Yes. And Ruben wanted me to tell you that we know what the Baxes are for, guys, art collectors. But it's good to say it, because the thing is no. Well, the thing is, you know, these shows are watched by a lot of different people who are new to the hobby or new to collecting, or are here just because they're comic, you know, they're fans of yours. They're not even here to buy. Right. So you know, I mean, so you never know what
they don't know what the X's mean or what BWS means. It doesn't.
Well, the BWS, that was new for me. So all right, so let's go on to lot 14. This is a continuation to the previous lot. Let me get that on the screen here. So pencils only on this one. The inks were done by Klaus on a separate board. So we're only getting the pencils here. It's $500. This is page 17. And
this one says Joe Rubenstein, but Joe didn't ink this. Klaus inked this. It's funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See on top it says Joe Rubenstein?
Oh, it does say. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And I think Klaus inked this. So
a lot of this is a good page. You don't see Batman catching two people at one time like that. But
catching two people, catching Robin and the Red Hood. Yeah. I think these were, I could be mistaken. I'm not sure if Batman and Robin or I'm trying to think of who wrote this. I'm trying to remember who wrote this. I think I also did, at the same time, I did 2 issues of Detective Comics. And I think those are the last issues that Len Wein wrote before he passed.
Oh, wow.
So we got a chance to work together one last time. I'm trying to remember who wrote this one, though.
Well, this lot has been, this was picked up, by the way. Congratulations to the buyer on that one.
Yeah. Thank you.
So there was a question from the audience about, you know, whether or not, you know, are there some pieces that you keep just because you love them and want to keep them for yourself? Or do you kind of, how attached are you to the work after you're done with it?
It's hard for me to look at my own artwork.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to look at my own artwork, especially after I've just finished it. I tend to scan it, high res, send it in, and put it in a drawer, and I don't look at it again until months and months later. Maybe I spend very, very, very little time praising myself over my old work, you know, or over work that I'm doing currently. It's hard. What was the question again? Because I want to make sure I answer.
Well, let me see. I've got to scroll up here to find it again. Where was it? Well, the real question was, Denys, how much of your own art have you held on to?
So therefore, I hold on to a lot of it, but I'm not looking at it. My wife actually usually has first claim on any piece of art that I do. So she'll go through stuff and pick out all the stuff that she wants to keep for whatever reason she wants to keep it. And then everyone else can get the rest. So trust me, before we send any of the stuff over to you, you go through everything. You know,
she's not a Lobo fan.
No, it's like, you can, that's something go. That's all right. But other stuff she decided to hold on to. So.
All right. Well, someone else came in late to the chat. Kevin Mandevil wanted to know about the email address, Kevin. So it's Nicole@thirdeyecomics.com. It's on the screen right there. All claims are happening via email. First email into Nicole gets the artwork, and you just need to let Nicole know which lot you're claiming, and then include your name as well. And after the show, Nicole will be sending out, getting your mailing addresses and the invoices out to you pronto. And they have a very easy setup to make your payments online. So it's a very streamlined process here with this show.
Awesome.
Yes. So, all right, let me get the banner off there again. So now we're moving on to, we've got 5 kind of commission level pieces. And this first piece is, let me get this one queued up here. And this is lot 15. It's $800. It was an unused pinup of Icon. I believe it's on 11x17 board. I put it on there. It is. Yeah.
11x17.
On a marble board.
Yeah. Of all things. I know. Because usually what I'll do is, especially with stuff like this, I'll grab whatever paper I have around. So I probably didn't even look to see what was on top until I was done. And I was like, oh my God.
Can't get into trouble for it though, of course.
I do this on marble paper. Oh no. So yeah, right. I'm like, what are they gonna do? So yeah. Pen and ink icon piece. Yeah, this was fun. And this is right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so this was it was possibly for to get published, and it wasn't. I mean, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I think it was used as part of it may have been used for some, I just don't know for what. Because this is one of those pieces where I probably wouldn't have drawn it unless it was for something. I didn't just draw it. So it may have been a commission that was turned into something else because it was never claimed. Or it was used for the Milestone documentary that Robert Kirkman did on us. I think that might have been the background to one of the things on there. I'm not sure, but it's one of my favorite icon pieces, and I don't draw a whole lot of icon pieces, so this one was a special one for me.
Well, I'll have to go check out the documentary.
Yeah.
Because we had that one other piece that we won't mention that we ended up not including today because we weren't sure if it was published or not.
I know, and it's terrible when you don't know if your own work has been published. I talked about that. I even looked it up and couldn't find it. So I'm like, oh.
And just, lot 15 was claimed. I should announce that. I wasn't paying attention to my chat, but yes. So congratulations to that. So yeah, that is tough when you don't know if something you've worked on.
I have no idea. So I did that icon piece, and I swear I saw it somewhere, but.
Well, congrats to the winner. Maybe when they do a little research, they'll actually find out where.
I know, or I'll find it beforehand.
Let's see. So next up, we've got 4 pieces that were done by Denys, actually probably in the last 36 hours or so, roughly. And so they're still in Denys's hands. So those will be shipped differently than the other ones, but payment and the claim process will be done in the same manner as all the other pieces today by emailing Nicole@thirdeyecomics.com. And they are all of the same character. But, the interesting thing is, Denys, and because early on, while I was watching the chat, a lot of people were saying, different characters they were hoping to see artwork from tonight. So if we were to do this show again in the future, Denys, what I might do, say a month out when I know we're going to do it again, I'll be like, what characters would you like to see, in an art drop here with Denys? And then that, because I think we've learned a lot here already today, what pieces people are looking for. But yeah, that'll give us a little bit of insight, maybe either in other published pieces we could bring or pieces done specifically for the sale.
I'll be happy to do it.
Okay, so I will take care of that after the show. I mean, I saw Black Panther and a few, and think somebody said Black Goliath. I don't know what else they said. I was kind of skimming through when it was flying by, but yeah, I think that we should be more. I should be more proactive in seeing what the audience that we're going to get, is looking for. I mean, it would always guarantee a good show for everyone.
I definitely have Black Panther pages and all kinds of stuff. So.
All right. Well, then there you have it, everybody. Maybe we'll be doing this again sooner than I think. But all right. So the next 4 pieces, as I said, are with Denys right now. So I'm going to go ahead and show lot 16. And this is a sketch of the question, of course. And, I put 11. It's not 11 by 17. I apologize. That's my mistake. I think I actually have it screwed up on all of them because these are on 8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
And it's $500. So straight up, I apologize for that. I think you reused the previous slide and didn't change it, but it is 8.5 by 11. And these are all, and so are the next 3 pieces as well. So this is pencil and ink.
Yeah, pencils and inks. Yeah, pencils and inks.
So the character is pretty much all inked, and the backgrounds are
well, what you're looking at now is kind of a mixed medium. So it's just pen and ink, and then for the gray tone, I use the pencil to just give it just a different look. So all the pencil work behind it is actually on the page, done on purpose like that. It's not inked. It's just a different tone to give it a slightly different look. And
that's a great portrait of the question.
And then with the attitude, it's all about the attitude with the question.
Right. So. I mean, the question, you're right. It is all about the edit. And this lot has been claimed, just so everybody knows.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, the question was all about attitude, right? I mean,
about attitude. Well, you don't get to show his face. He has no facial features. So how do you convey what he's feeling when most of the time, as an artist, as a comic artist, you get the emotions from the face, like you can draw someone scowling or smiling or whatever you can do. It's an easy way to get something across, even if the rest of the drawing doesn't really reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
But with the question, I had to figure out different ways to convey what he was feeling under that mask and to make you go, oh, I'm about to get my ass whooped, or he's really surprised here, or whatever it is, or he's really upset and angry. That's the thing with the question. Just conveying what he's feeling at any particular time.
Sure. All right. Well, we're going to show the next lot. It's lot 17. And again, it's going to say 11 by 17, everybody, because I did mess that up. I made the slides today, so it's all on me. All 4 of these pieces are 8.5 by 11. Right. So this is the next one here. And it's lot 17. It's $500 as well. Another great portrait piece of the question.
Yep. Same technique. Just use a little bit more black in his suit this time to just give it a little bit more contrast. But again, the question's about attitude. So being well dressed with an attitude is also part of the thing with the question. So this is a lot of fun. Again, with the gray tone pencils in the back. And drawing that trench coat and putting it over the suit. Now it's second nature, but I still think about it. I still think like, okay, is this suit fitting right? Is the tie right? Is this jacket hanging right on this figure? I don't know. I hope so. But I had a lot of fun doing these. And doing this character. I love doing this. I love drawing the question. I like Big Sage.
So you kind of like, your style really works well with the kind of noir vibe for a book, I think, and with the question, I mean, it looks perfect. I mean, your style was so suited for the character and the subject matter.
Thank you. I look at what other people do on the question. I've seen a couple of others, and I'm just full of like, yeah, you guys don't know how to do the question. This is how you really do them. But it's just which is not right. But I feel very proprietary toward the question. I do.
Right. Well, you should, as you should. And that lot was claimed, by the way.
Oh,
congratulations to the buyer on that one as well.
Yeah.
But that's like we said earlier, like when you looked at the Toddleben Swamp Thing, I think all artists are always sort of, not necessarily looking for inspiration, but looking at what other folks have done and then trying to find their own approach to that character.
You can call it inspiration. I look for inspiration wherever I can get it, and I got a lot of inspiration from Frank Miller and Klaus Jansen's Daredevil. I got a lot of inspiration from David Mazzucchelli and Frank Miller's run on Daredevil and Batman Year One. There are some seminal comics, Howard Chaykin's American Flag, Walt Simonson's Thor, and Fantastic Four. There are things I just devour it. I'm still trying to draw like that, for real.
That's great. I mean, is the best artists are never satisfied, right?
It's true. I'm just still trying to attain that. I'm still trying to get to something that's halfway decent. So,
but so Manuel wanted to know if you had ever done work on Daredevil in any of the books that you had done.
Nope, which I did. Nope. I did like a Daredevil pinup with Daredevil and Luke Cage and
Luke Power Man and Iron Fist. Yeah, it was like I saw that.
It was like an ad thing for Marvel. And again, I went, step aside. It was like one of those. I wondered why they had me do that, But it was probably because I was wandering around the office and they needed somebody to draw this thing really quick.
I love that image. I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah, but that's really young Denys Cowan saying, "I get to do it. This is the only time I get to do a Daredevil. I'm gonna do it right."
All right, well, we got 2 more lots to go.
All right,
and let's see. Yep, we got lot 18 here, and it's going to be another question piece. And again, 8.5 by 11, not 11 by 17, as I incorrectly left that on there. Here is lot 18. A little, pretty much full figure on this one.
It's a full figure question. It's a full.
Yes,
figure.
It is.
Looking all dynamic and everything with the clouds, and then I always try to put a question mark of the smoke thing in back of him. Not that you wouldn't know it was a question, but I like to gild the lily, I guess, and no, it's really the question. See, so this was a lot of fun to draw. The thing with the question though is getting the hat right. Hats are not easy to draw, and it was such a struggle for me until I was taught how to do it. And do you know who taught me how to draw hats? Marie Severin taught me how to do hats at Marvel.
Really?
Yeah, because I was struggling with it. And she said, "Denys, come here." And she sat me down, got a piece of tracing paper, put it over my drawing, and said, "This is how you draw a hat." And then, you put you draw the head in a circle, and then you put the hat on top of it so that it fits correctly. There's a whole thing that you can do now. It's second nature, but it was Marie Severin who taught me how to do it, and that sure came in handy later on. So now I'm a hat expert. You can't tell me nothing about hats.
Thanks to Marie. Marie, she's like the unsung hero of the bullpen, right?
Yeah. I mean, no, she was an awesome, gorgeous, beautiful person, and so patient with us young artists. And Denny, she used to call me, and she just brought me over and showed me how to do it. I think she was just tired of looking at my badly drawn hats.
Lot 18 has been claimed, but yeah, we talk about her a lot because I mean, she was such a. I've only seen interviews with her, filmed interviews, and she seems like such a vivacious, happy person, comedic. I'm sure she probably kept everybody in stitches, but when you're grinding out stuff in the bullpen, I mean, you need somebody like that, as part of the team, just to keep everybody's morale up.
A female artist in comics at a time when there weren't a whole lot of female artists in comics that were drawing comics. Her and her brother were the shit. They were awesome. So
you've had a great many years in comics, and you're around so many amazing people.
I've seen them all.
So we definitely have more we can talk about when we do a second show.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're gonna show the last lot here, lot 19. And it's another question piece. Again, it's 8.5 by 11, not 11 by 17, as I've stated on there. You need to email Nicole at thirdeyecomics.com if you'd like this piece. And that question mark becomes more and more obvious every time I see it.
Right now, you see it, right? It's it's always the question mark. That's a secret thing. This one he's undoing he's doing the belt, the belt thing, which adheres his mask to his face, changes his hair color and his clothes color, and changes him into the question. So this was it. This one was fun. I got to draw the straight on shot. And I remember doing this going, is this going to be an exciting thing with him just looking at the camera and just, this could be dope. This could be good. So I was very happy with the way this one turned out. Just
on this one, what makes it for me is that the area around the eyes. You know, I mean, if you take away that and just make it flat, you know, it's a different image, but you know, he is not happy.
No, not happy at all. You know, it's just those little things. So, you know, this is not a bad question image. I like the tie on this one. Of all things. I'm like, I think I got the tie right.
You nailed the tie. You didn't put a hat on him though, but you nailed the tie on this one.
No hat, just the hair, the smoke, and the attitude.
No, it's got all that, and it's been claimed as well. So it's found another home. Thank you so much to whomever picked that one up. Again, I hope to see these on CAF, you know, later next week. So so that's, wow, we sold 17 out of the 19 pieces that we brought today, Dennis. That is very good. I might as well re-show them just to remind everybody what those two pieces were. And the first one was lot 4, and that's one of the lots where it was a pencil and inked pages, 2 separate pages together. So I'll show both. So here is lot 4. This is the one with the alligator. Yeah. And the first time you're drawing Swamp Thing there in the last panel. Yeah. And so this is the inked page. And again, this was $500, lot 4. And here is the pencil page. Yeah, those the Gators wouldn't have stood a chance against the Dark Knight.
No, they were about to eat him, actually. And then Swamp Thing, they would have stood a chance. They would have eaten him. But they saw the Swamp Thing, and that just changed everything.
Well, they're not the king of the swamp then. I'm moving to Florida, so I have to get used to the alligators now.
Yeah,
I think
we'll have to get used to a lot of things in Florida.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a lot hotter there than it is here in Northeast Ohio, that's for sure. But
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it. We've actually got about 5 acres. My wife has always wanted to have a bit of a farm. And so she's going to get what she wants out of it. And I've got a nice new house that I don't have to keep working on, which I have. But here, it's a fixer-upper, you know, from 1979.
You will love it. You will love it. You'll just be like, that'll be a whole new great adventure. It'll be great.
Yep, that's what I've been waiting for. So lot 4 is still available. And let's go ahead and show the other lot, which was the Vampirella cover.
Yes.
Get that one up there as well. This was lot 12. It's $2,500. And it was a variant cover to Vampirella issue 8 out by I believe that's Dynamite, right?
Yes.
Nick Perucci. Yep. Always you know, Nick's a great guy. He is definitely he's brought a lot of wonderful artworks into collectors' hands thanks to all the publishing he's done over the years. So
yes.
Yeah, he is a champion of everyone in the hobby. Nick's in the audience too. He's reminding everybody. Yeah, he's reminding everybody to hit the thumbs up button so we can get to 100 likes before the end of the show.
Yeah, right. That'd be great. Hi, Nick.
So again, this is $2,500. It's pencils only. The piece was digitally painted, so there is not an inked version to this cover. And like we said earlier, if you're watching the show later, you know, coming in after the show is over, lots 4 and 12 are the only 2 lots that are still available. You can still email Nicole. You know, at least throughout the weekend before she sends these 2 pieces back to Dennis. Dennis, you'd probably rather they not come back, but if I'd probably rather
they not come back and you just ship them, see them again after they've left here. But
they may come back, and if they do, but that's okay because it sounds like everybody wants us to do another show, Dennis. So
that's great. Well,
just from the chat in the audience. I mean, and I'll do what I said. I'll ask people for suggestions on published work and maybe a few pre-drawn, you know, commission style pieces like we just showed with the icon and the question commissions, and that'll make the show, you know, even better for all of us. So this has been a lot of fun. I can't tell you, it's been
great for me.
Been a joy getting to talk with you, Dennis.
I know. Thank you, Bill, and thanks to everybody for tuning in and listening to me go on and on. I was telling my wife, she was like, I was looking you up on YouTube. Because she's probably watching this. She says, and there's so many interviews with you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Because I can just go on and talk about myself a lot, evidently. I just didn't realize. I thought, oh, maybe there's 2 or 3. No, there's more. There's more than that. So I'll be happy, evidently, to get back on and talk to you some more. This will be.
No, it'll be great. Like people are already throwing suggestions. Luke Cage with lots of exclamation points.
All that stuff. So we'll do it.
Yeah. And there you go. So, and Kevin just said Deathlock, Hardware, Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So I think we'll we'll get a lot of good suggestions for the next show. This went really, really well. I'm pleased. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and picked up art from Denys today. I mean, this is, you know, since the pandemic, we've all been looking for different ways to enjoy the hobby, and these kind of talk shows that involve claiming artwork as well has really, for me, it's been one of the most enjoyable things that I've gotten to do over the last couple of years. And you know, Denys, I'm so glad you got to do it with me, and all the people who tuned in to make this show fun.
Wonderful experience. Really, thank you.
Oh, it's Nick Patera's in the audience as well, artist, as you know. Thanks for tuning in, you know, taking the time. Great interview, and congrats on the art sales.
Right on.
All right, well, I'm gonna call it a show. We just hit the 2-hour mark. So Denys, I'm sure you'll get, you know, you'll be you know, Nicole will get in touch with you as well. And again, everybody expect to hear from Nicole. If you claimed any artwork today, she'll be sending you invoices and also collecting your mailing addresses. So just take care of everything quick, and you'll get the artwork before the end of the week.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Have a great afternoon, Denys. Thanks again. And hey, best of luck with South by Southwest as well. I hope I get to see a video from that.
Yeah, they always put everything up, so you get to
see
me talk even more. So that'd be good. All right.
Take care.